All right, people, what the hell is going on? It is 4 something in the morning, man. I think I've been up. I think I've been up the whole time. I said I was going to watch some TV until I fell asleep. And then I proceed to watch a shitload of TV because I hadn't watched TV in a minute. Oh, man. Anyway. The Texans. I wanted to talk about the Texans. Because I probably ain't going, once the off season really actually starts, I'll have more to talk about the Texans, probably. I think I did a Texans video already. I'm not 100% sure. But I just read a article. Battle Red blog or some shit. I don't know. I don't keep up with all that. And they went over some stuff about possible backup quarterbacks for the Texans going into next season. Going over the criteria of backup quarterbacks and all kind of stuff like that. And season's over with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who the Texans gonna keep, who they gonna let go. Other than it's obvious the people that they gonna keep, but it's a bunch of you don't know who gonna be back, especially the quarterbacks. All 3 of the quarterbacks we had probably be gone, and I don't even know if Kyle Allen, they might have let Kyle Allen go a long time ago. I don't know. But, it's you never know. But I read the thing, they talking about the backup quarterbacks, and it was like, they want the backup quarterback to be better than the quarterback play that you had this season. Which actually, it kind of makes sense, but it's a backup. It's a backup. But I always go to this every time they get into the quarterback talk when they start talking about the Texans. And I watched the Texans for the last few seasons. Actually, more than a few seasons. Quarterback, in my opinion, is not the issue. It is not. Quarterback is not the issue with the Houston Texans. It was not. It was the offensive coaching. That was the issue. Matter of fact, I do remember talking about this. This might be a duplicate video. This might be a duplicate video. I think I did a fucking video sitting on the porch talking about this shit. Quarterback is not the fucking issue. The issue is the offensive coaching and the play calling. There's only so much the quarterback can do when your offense ain't worth shit. And the thing about it is the Texans hadn't been playing in no prime time or no game that everybody gonna see. So you don't get the fancy shit. You don't get the good announcers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't. I watch the Texans. We get the C team announcers and shit like that. We just do. You ain't gonna have the fucking like Chris Collinsworth and a couple other folks. The little, what's that, Joe Buck? This one of them Bucks and whoever the fuck else. You don't get those people like that calling the fucking games. You know what I'm saying? So they don't. The announcers that we got, they don't have a little drawing board where they run their little plays. Back, and they be circling and drawing lines of what the offense is doing and all this other shit. You get the little, you watch the other little, the prime time teams where they got the camera all across the fucking field and you get all these weird ass football angles and shit like that. You don't get that watching the Texans. You got a losing football team, you rarely get that. You just get a regular ass football broadcast. I can rarely, I know it's happened at some point, but I've never seen any of the Texans game. I probably seen 1 or 2, and that was like years ago. Like maybe Kubiak and shit was here when where they got the little cameras that line across the goddamn football field and all kind of fancy shit. All that. Texans don't get that. When we watching the game, we watching a regular ass broadcast with a C team. Broadcast crew. I can't even talk. That hadn't been paying attention to the Texans. all year. Why the fuck would they? So they talking about the team and they can't even, they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. So we don't get the insight we get from the top experts. You know what I'm saying? Those people are football knowledgeable, but they don't follow the team. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I've been saying all year, because I watched more football this year than I did any other year. I watched the other teams. I'm watching these other Fox broadcasts and these other games where I'm watching and they breaking down the fucking offensive plays and the routes that the receivers is running and how they doing shit to confuse the defense and all this other shit. And I watched the Houston Texans play. They don't do none of that shit. They hadn't done none of that. You know what I'm saying? It might have been 1, 2, 3 plays where they done ran the receivers done ran some weird ass route, or you see some weird blocking scheme on the front line. You know what I'm saying? To get a hold. It's not a lot of. I ain't gonna say it's none, but it ain't like watching the Chiefs play. Just put it for fuck like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's not like watching the Chiefs play. They not as good as the Chiefs, but goddamn, everybody has a way to get their offense going. I've seen good offense. I watched Dallas play Minnesota this year. Fucking Minnesota has a bust up ass fucking offense, and Dallas beat that ass. So it don't matter how good you is, you gonna have somebody gonna whoop your ass at some point. But the Texans couldn't do that because they don't have the offensive scheme. I done talked about this plenty of times in my video. They don't have the offensive scheme. Everybody keep blaming the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Everybody blaming the quarterback. I was like, man, we ain't nobody open, man. We need better receivers. Like the first couple games of the season, I was like, man, can't nobody get open, man. Then it got to the point to where I was like, okay, it ain't the receivers, because each of the receivers done produced at some point during the season. You know what I'm saying? So the receivers that we got, even though they not big name, you know what I'm saying, you would like to have better receivers, but the receivers we got, except for fucking Dorsett, kind of proved that they can have, decent games. Brandon Cooks, he done put up numbers everywhere, but he don't need to be your best receiver. You know what I'm saying? He just don't. I've been saying that all year. I'm like, man, he don't scare people. He's supposed to be fast. He's a good receiver, but he need to be one of them motherfuckers. He need to be one of them scat receivers, one of them slot motherfuckers that you don't need to be on the edge. You know what I'm saying? He just don't. I mean, a guy his size with his speed, you put him in the slot, line him up against somebody's not best corner, maybe get him in on a fucking safety or somebody nickelback that ain't been in the game or some shit like that, and you can move him around a lot to be able to get him open. But he playing on the outside like he fucking 6'5" or some shit. You can't do that shit with Brandon Cooks. They've done it a couple times, but them quarterbacks, they get back and they just flick it up. Let the receiver go get it. You can't do that with him. Do it like 5'10" or some shit. You can do it, but there's no real advantage there unless the quarterback just places the ball just fine. And like I said, Cooks has made some catches, but on a consistent basis, you can't do that with him. He need to be on the inside doing some other shit. If you're an offensive coordinator worth anything, you should be able to just look at Brandon Cooks and tell that, okay, this is a guy we got to put in the slot most of the time, not have him running fade routes, because even though he's fast, the guys in the cornerbacks are fast, just as fast as he is. You know what I'm saying? So, but because I rarely ever see him with any separation. If he do get any separation, the goddamn quarterback would have been and got sacked by that time. You know what I'm saying? It just, but that was my thing with the offense. Until I started watching other games, and then I started paying attention to the Texans. And like I said before, why all our passes going out of bounds? You know what I'm saying? Those are the plays. They keep running these fucking out routes. For whatever reason, our offensive coordinator keep calling these fucking out routes. You keep calling these out routes. And our receivers ain't fucking ain't separating from people. You keep throwing these out routes and they keep separating from people. I mean, they don't get no separation. The only place you could throw the ball is right on the fucking sideline where you got to do some tippy-toe shit like this to catch the fucking ball. When you watching other teams, the motherfuckers is catching the ball right just out in the fucking open. You know what I'm saying? They you know, how do you watch a team run up and down the field and it's always somebody wide the fuck ass open? You know what I'm saying? You watch Tom Brady, even though they lost, boom, he get the ball, whack. You know what I'm saying? He hit one of the receivers right down a little hitch route or some shit, 4-5 yards. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like shit on the, it really don't. It don't look like shit on the, when you watching the game. It really don't, because it looked like the receiver just ran for about 2 steps and fell over. The dude got about 4-5 yards. I don't think catch the ball, whack, catch the ball, whack. You know what I'm saying? Dude run up, get tackled. The Texans do that shit. It don't fucking work. You know what I'm saying? The Texans do that shit quite a bit, and it never fucking works. You watch a team like the fucking Chiefs run a fucking screenplay. Motherfucker run up the goddamn field. You watch a team like the Texans run a fucking screenplay. Whoop. Motherfucker better read the shit or just get tackled right the fuck then. Why? I mean, I'm saying, you know why? Why can't we go? That's a coaching thing. All these people out here been playing football for fucking ever. You know what I'm saying? These people been playing football their whole life. Even the fucking rookies and the fucking second year players and shit like that. They've been playing football for the last 10 years. It's different when you go from high school to college and then into the NFL. But it's fucking football. You know what I'm saying? Generally, the rules are the fucking same. There are a couple of little differences, and you know, the talent level is a bit, but it's fucking football. You can't run a fucking screenplay. You know what I'm saying? That's not on the players. That's on the offensive scheme. That's what I said. The offense falls on the fucking offensive coordinator. And they wondered why I was watching the Tampa Bay game against the Cowboys. And I'm wondering why the fuck, like, because I accidentally watched, I really did, that Sunday night, I accidentally watched the Tampa Bay game thinking that it was the playoff game. It's a whole bunch of shit went over my head. I don't know why that was even available on Hulu, because that's where I watch my football. Why is that game even on Hulu? You know what I'm saying? You go up there, they had the games listed that's going to play. And why was that even up there? I said, oh shit, okay, I'm watching the fucking Cowboys and the Bucks. Fucking week 1 game, dude. And like I say, I watch the Texans. I don't be watching a whole bunch of the goddamn football for the most part. So I watched that whole goddamn game not knowing that it was a week 1 game. And I was happy too, because, you know, next thing I know, the goddamn, you know, they was up 18-0 over the Cowboys. I'm like, oh shit. And they was doing it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I watched the real game the next day. Yeah, and ain't none of that shit was happening. Ain't none of it was happening. And Byron Leftwich got fired. Offensive coordinator got fired. Now, you on a team that got fucking Mike Evans, Julio Jones, that Godwin guy, and they got another Perriman. You know, I'm like, okay, and you got Brady at quarterback, and then you got 2 decent running backs, but for whatever reason, I wasn't seeing a whole bunch of Fournette, and they couldn't get it going. They could, you know what I'm saying? It just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if it was the plays. I know, a couple of things happened. That defense was like on it, but they fired the offensive coordinator. Byron Leftwich out of there. I don't know what the fuck else they gonna do for players or whatnot, but shit. I'm like, man, that's what should have happened with the Texans. They didn't need to fire Lovie Smith. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that was one. All them people was on the staff already. I'm guessing most of the folks was on the staff already. So Lovie Smith get fired. Only good thing about that, as far as I can tell, is that the offensive coordinator is right out of there with him. You know what I'm saying? As far as I can tell, that he went right out there with him. Good deal. Good deal. That's who we need to get rid of. Yeah, as far as the pick, winning the game and all that other stuff, that shit don't matter to me. You got the second fucking pick. You got the somebody gonna probably pick a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It's a handful of quarterbacks that you can pick up there. You know what I'm saying? It really is. It ain't no use to getting married to one motherfucker. It's a handful of motherfuckers that you can pick. And it's one of them things to where, okay, you by consensus, you pretty much know that they gonna get a goddamn quarterback. Like I'm a Davis Mills fan for whatever. I don't know why, because I think he looked goofy in a fucking football uniform. But I think I'm a Davis Mills fan because he showed improvement. You know what I'm saying? He showed improvement. He did. You can do about as well as you gonna do in that dumpster fire of offense he was running. You know what I'm saying? It's about as good as you gonna do. As good as you gonna do. The receivers did what they could, and the running game, as far as I can tell, is just everybody just block whoever in front of you, and the running back just kind of get wherever he can go. As far as I can tell. You know what I'm saying? Because Dameon Pierce wasn't doing shit the last couple of games before he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He was tearing it up at first, and then for like 2 or 3 weeks, they had a cap on him. But you're a running back. What the fuck you gonna do if it ain't nowhere to fucking run? And you kind of figure something like that was gonna happen, because that got to be something that the Texans take care of. In the draft for free agency, you got to pick up the running backs they got now. Ain't gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? I like Royce Freeman. They kept putting that number 33, and I don't much care for that dude at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to try to say he got an African name. So if you try to say the African name and say it wrong, in the tone that I'm saying, it's gonna sound like I'm making fun of him, but I ain't gonna even try to say his fucking name. Number 33, that's what I call him. That's what I call him, dude. See, number 33. Why is he in there? You know what I'm saying? This is like, boom, he just constantly gets smashed at the fucking line of scrimmage. At least Royce Freeman, he don't look like he that big, but most of his runs be like moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Till he fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball, and they sat him down for a good while, but you know what I'm saying? It just seems that he should have been the main ball carrier. He should have been the main ball carrier once Dameon Pierce went down, not that Umbuguya or whatever. I don't know. See, I said I wasn't gonna try to say it. If you say it and keep saying it around, I don't know how to fucking say it. Whatever. It's a guy on defense with an African name I don't know how to fucking say either. So. But that's my deal, man. I'm kind of hoping that they keep Davis around. I'm kind of hoping that they keep him around as the backup. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're under contract or not. I don't know how the ownership, or I don't know how to, because the whole staff is going out, 3rd round pick. I don't know what kind of contract he got. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't seen anything, where, he done got released or anything like that. I know they signed a bunch of people, but you're going to keep a backup quarterback. It might as well be Davis. You know what I'm saying? It might as well be Davis. Or they might feel that he didn't got too much shit here in Houston that it's best to just move on from him. And just get you a whole new thing going. But I don't think so. I think I would keep. That's just me. I would keep him because I see the potential in Davis Mills, and he's reached that potential. As far as just being able to play and doing that in a shitty ass offense. You gonna throw a whole bunch of interceptions when you gotta throw the motherfuckers that's wearing defensive backs as fucking jackets. It's gonna happen. And the bad interceptions that he's thrown, same interceptions I see everybody else throw in the NFL. It ain't no different. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no different. He throw a fucking pick six or some shit like that. Shit. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking pick sixes and shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? On that same day, I'd be like, well, he ain't done nothing nobody else ain't doing. And you look at it and it be like from one of the top quarterbacks and shit like that. The only difference is from Davis Mills and any other quarterback in the league is that he playing under a shitty ass offense. That's it. He gonna get blamed for it because he the quarterback. That comes with it. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like it's a little bit under being a pitcher. You know what I'm saying, in baseball. When you a pitcher in baseball, I mean, bunch of that shit is on you. Most of it. You got the fielders and shit. They got to do their job, but a lot of that shit is on you. And same, a little bit less for the quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's probably about the same that I'm thinking about, because you got the other people, they got to do what they got to do. You got motherfuckers dropping the ball and all kind of dumb shit. Fuck the hell you gonna do? You got to try to squeeze the ball in the motherfuckers, or you got to throw the fucking ball out of bounds and shit because you can't get a clear lane. It's because the offense is not moving around. Like I said before, one of the best days the offense had was when they both of the starting receivers was out, and they had to start backups, and they had like the best fucking one of the best games that they had all season, because they had to rearrange the fucking offense. You had to stop running that bullshit you was running to run some other shit to accommodate the fact that you don't have your receivers. You know what I'm saying? And you have one of the better games of the season. And they proved they could play because they played with the Cowboys and they played with the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, and I don't know how else to fucking say it. It was the offensive coach, and the shit is moot now because the motherfuckers is gone. They done got fired. And they gonna bring in a whole new system. And the thing is, I guess my whole thing is that, you can root for a team when you know the players. You know what I'm saying? When you know the players, it's easy to root for a goddamn team. It's how the fuck it is. I'm gonna go out there next year. I don't know who the fuck gonna be here. All the players that I probably want to be here not gonna fucking be here. I know Cooks probably won't be here. They gonna try to ship him off because he don't want to be here, which I don't want him here. You know what I'm saying? He should have got traded during the trade deadline. Like I say, he ain't bad. It's just that he didn't need to be here. He wouldn't go. That dude cannot produce in this offense. He know that. You know what I'm saying? He cannot produce in this offense. Nobody can, tell you the truth. Not on a consistent basis. You might have a good game every so often, but you got a man out there doing half of what he would usually do in the season. He should have got traded. I don't know what you're gonna get for him, but I mean, you signed motherfuckers during the season. You know what I'm saying? That Amari Rodgers or whoever they could have popped him right there. You know what I'm saying? Boop, that put him right there. He would have gave you as much as fucking he would have gave you as much as Cooks gave you. You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna be on the team next year? Hopefully. Like I said, I don't want to hop on here and just have all different. Now I do want some improvements. Now don't get me wrong with that shit. But I'm like, Akins need to be here. If he hadn't proved he need to be here, he earned the contract when he first got signed back on the team. Because I know we had a bunch of good tight ends. You know what I'm saying? We had a bunch of good tight ends, which don't make sense because we ain't hardly used them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? We didn't. Yeah, that other dude, the big one that played for Cleveland there, I can't think of his goddamn name. Farrell Brown. Well, he said some shit. I think he said some shit got him, because he was like the number one tight end. I think he said some shit that got him off the team. You know what I'm saying? I think he one of those motherfuckers that went and said some shit to one of the coaches or the GM. He said some shit to somebody and then he was just out of there. But even then, you still had good receivers. You know, the tight ends and showed that they could play. Like I say, Akins should still be here. That Quintiriano guy, he done what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? As far as I can see, you know, he tight end. He don't catch a lot of balls, but he's caught some. I haven't seen him fucking up. It ain't like I hear his name called on the offense for like offensive penalties and shit like that. No, nothing like that. And then another guy that you don't see a whole lot, Brevin Jordan, the other tight end, but I don't think he a blocking, he a receiving tight end. But you need motherfuckers like that. Brevin Jordan would be like your fucking Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? He would be like your Kelsey. If you had the offense to use players like that. You know what I'm saying? If you had the offense to use players like that. No, you got all this talent. Like I said, it's not the fucking players. It ain't the quarterback. It ain't the receivers. It ain't the running back. It ain't the fucking offensive line. It was the fucking offensive scheme. The offensive scheme sucked. I was watching, what they say, Pep Hamilton was like 3 seasons with the Colts, with Andrew Luck or some shit. And I was like, I don't know what the, was he there? Was he the offensive coordinator there? That might be true, but was he calling the plays? You know what I'm saying? He might have been the offensive coordinator, but was the head coach calling the plays? You know, was he playing under one of those motherfuckers? Because if so, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You know, what the fuck happened between now and then where this motherfucker play calling just sucked? Because I remember getting our ass spanked by the goddamn Colts quite a bit being a Houston Texans fan, and I don't recall no offense sucking like that in fucking what's his name in Indianapolis with the Colts. I just don't. I don't recall none of that. I refute that shit. What the fuck was he doing in Indianapolis? He wasn't calling plays. He couldn't have been. The fuck was this? Oh, the cat right here. Sleeping. Sorry, cat. Yeah, so I'm like, man, fuck that shit. You know, the players is fine. But they gonna get new players. And like I say, if you gonna get you some quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get you some quarterbacks. Make sure you get us some receivers. Philip Dorsett shouldn't be back. I'm trying to think of who else was even out there. You know, because Philip Dorsett just didn't do shit. I watched that man run out of bounds. In one play, he caught the ball and ran. He caught the ball like on an out, right? He went, caught the ball, ran about 3 yards straight out of bounds when the fucking first down marker was like a yard this way. Only thing he had to do was just catch the ball and run up, and then he could have ran out of bounds to the pylon or whatever the fuck. No, not the pylon, the little first down marker. This motherfucker just turned and ran straight out of bounds. So all he had to do was take a couple of steps over and get the first down. And you know what happened after that play? They didn't get the first down. They didn't get the first down. He didn't get the first down because offense sucked. Now, a lot of people say they always bring up the ownership and all this other. I can't. Only thing I can deal with is the shit on the field. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can deal with. You start talking about ownership and all this shit in the front office and all this. I can't speak on that. I don't pay no attention to that shit. Who the fuck gets signed? Who on the goddamn field playing? That's what I can follow. You know what I'm saying? What acquisitions they make, that's about. I can see what happens. I can't go in the hows and the whys and all this other shit. Only thing I know with the Texans, that players that generally have shit to say to the front office generally end up the fuck out of here. Deshaun, Farrell, DeAndre. You know what I'm saying? Because I think DeAndre Hopkins, that's how he ended up out here. I think he wouldn't say some shit he ain't had no business saying to the front office people. And he was out of there. You know what I'm saying? You just trade your ass. Bye. You know what I'm saying? That's when you got to make a trade and didn't get all this shit for him. Whatever. But, I mean, you can't go around just saying what the fuck you want to say. It's just, all right. You end up in Arizona. Same thing with Deshaun. Deshaun fucking decided he ain't want to play. He got mad at the front office. Fuck you. He decided he ain't want to play no more, and all of a sudden all kind of weird shit started happening to him. It's funny how all that shit pop up right when he decided he want to be a bitch. And I do. It's like when you just quit, it just whatever. That's what he did. That motherfucker quit, sat out a whole goddamn year. That's his business, but you quit. That's ain't no other way to put it. And Farrell Brown. He was just out of there. He was out of there with one of the Lovie Smith was in the fucking one of the press conferences, and one of them people mentioned Farrell Brown, and he didn't have shit to say. He was just, all I can say about that is just a divorce is sometimes the best way to go, and that just means some shit happened. Some shit happened, and they got him the fuck up out of there. Oh man. But they got players. You know what I'm saying? They do. Even on the defensive side of the ball. I ain't say much about the defense because the defense improved as the year goes along. Now, they got the defensive players. The defensive backs were pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had a problem. I haven't had a problem with the defensive backs in a good while. I mean, you can have problems with the fucking defense. You know what I'm saying, as far as the coverages and shit like that. But the defensive backs themselves, no, I ain't really had no problem. Now, the linebackers and the front seven, oh, man, I can tell you, I've been watching them play. They didn't get spanked all year. That's why the goddamn DBs got on fucking tackles, man, because the motherfucking running backs is running through the fucking, running through people and shit. And the damn DBs got to tackle them people. And the DBs was not tackling folks. They stand the motherfucker up and start slapping at the goddamn ball and doing all kind of shit instead of tackling people, which is why they was getting, they gave up all them fucking rushing yards because the motherfuckers steady running up the field while they steady slapping at the goddamn ball. Well, they did remedy that shit to a degree. They did. That's what I say. But the offense stayed poopy damn near the whole season. But the defense actually improved. You know what I'm saying? They kept rotating motherfuckers in and out of that goddamn defensive line until they found some shit that worked. For a good while, man, it was two new motherfuckers on the defensive line damn near every week, it seemed like. It was two new motherfuckers. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? It wasn't until that shit slowed down to where you had like Ray Lopez, Malik Collins, and maybe a couple other guys that you recognize their name that rotate in, you know what I'm saying, on the defensive line. And then those defensive ends was just like the same defensive ends, as far as I know. It was in there. And they still get ran on, but about as much as anybody else would. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, they get ran on, but not like it was early in the season. You know what I'm saying? They be stopping motherfuckers behind the line of script. It wasn't a whole lot of sacks, I don't think, on that front line, but it wasn't a whole lot of pressure, but it improved from early in the season. It just did. It improved as the season went along. The defense did. Now, it's only so much a defense can do when your offense can't put no goddamn points on the board. It's just, other offense can come out there and just do whatever the fuck it want to do. And then your defense got to play like that. And then that's one of the main reasons why you want to, get ahead of people. Best you can, get ahead of people. Force them to play catch up. They have to, they can't do that. We're going to run the ball, all this shit. No, they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Some teams can. Fucking Titans can. Sometimes Derrick Henry gets sat the fuck down. He big motherfucker, but, you run across a certain team and they don't give a fuck how big you is. You finna sit the fuck down. Man. Yeah, but you force your offense to play one way. Like the Texans be having to go. They have to pass the ball. Texans got to pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? They can't run the ball worth nothing. They got to pass the ball. They playing catch up. Blah, blah, blah. And you end up in those situations where the fucking defense know what the fuck you finna do. You know what I'm saying? The defense know what you finna do. And they run a fucking Tecmo defense play on you, just blow your whole goddamn play up. Or put you in a situation where you got to throw the fucking ball away or some shit. We ain't got the quarterback that can just scramble all over the goddamn place and do this shit. It's hard to watch. It was hard to watch. I'm just like, why? It's so simple to do. It was the offensive scheme. Defense improved. The only thing they kind of fucked up was that cover 2 shit that they always be running, that everybody and their mama know how to beat. How many times do a motherfucker have to throw the ball up the middle of the goddamn field or right in your blind spots in your defense, in your zone, before you be like, okay, we need to run some other shit? You know what I'm saying? We need to run some other shit, because every time they see us in this, they tear us up. Can't blame the players for that. You know what I'm saying? That's what and it's just motherfuckers just be running across the zones and shit wide the fuck ass open. Why? Well, why the fuck our team can't do that? People run zone against us. Why the fuck can't we do that? Why our players just don't be roaming around people's zone with 5 yards? You know what I'm saying? Just nobody around them. Why the fuck we can't do that? Why our offensive coordinator can't scheme some shit to infiltrate somebody else's defense like that? It's just I don't know. I didn't see it. Every once in a while, this shit probably happened by chance. The motherfucker think they did something. No, motherfucker, you got lucky with the play call. Shit. You got lucky with the play call. It was not your doing. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to get used to a new team. And well, not a whole new team. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they gonna make wholesale changes, but they got a bunch of draft picks and shit like that. So a bunch of people gonna get replaced, and so a bunch of people ain't gonna want to come back. And like I said, I don't think we gonna get no whole big rundown on that shit until later on. You know what I'm saying? Like after the draft and all kind of shit like that. Once all that shit, once the season is over with and everybody had a little off time, and then they go back into like training camp and shit, that'd be a good long while from now. Cause that's mostly what I'm into. Who coming back? And then you start to look at who coming back or who they bringing in. Then that's what's gonna interest me, because the people they bringing in is gonna be people I don't know. I don't watch college football and shit like that. I don't watch enough NFL football to know people by name that come from other teams and shit like that. I don't, it's just, I say, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I know we need a fucking kick returner. Every time I watch the Texans, I'll be watching the Texans, I know the last few years, we have such and such a Pro Bowl returner, blah, blah, blah. We get a guy like that returning punts or kicks. That was a superstar doing this shit for another team. Here, it just, nope, we don't get none of that no more. Our last kick returner, what was it, Jacoby Jones or Jerome Mathis? I can't even remember nobody else that back there that would return fucking punts and kicks and shit like that. For touchdowns. We don't get that kind of stuff. I'm thinking I can't remember. No. We get people that did it before, but they don't do it now. They end up on another goddamn team, and they end up doing it again. We need a goddamn special teams coach. I mean, the special teams is fine. You know what I'm saying? For them not just fucking up shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's been a whole bunch of just fuck ups on special teams. I think that's what you want. Them ball transactions. You don't want people fucking that shit up. That's special team. That's what special teams is. Ball transactions. We got a good kicker. Pretty sure the kicker gonna be here. And we always have a decent kicker. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm worried about. Who they gonna bring in? Quarterback, I'm not too concerned with because I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They gonna bring in a rookie quarterback. I don't care who it is. I don't know no CJ Stroud. I don't watch college football. It's just the names I've been hearing. It's like 3-4 people now. You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 or 4 people. And then they hadn't even started the workouts and shit like that. The combine and all that other shit. When motherfuckers start working out, that might change the landscape of that shit. Motherfucker come do one of them busted ass workouts, and then you have somebody shoot up the goddamn draft board. Just, you never know. But the Texans need an edge rusher. They probably need another defensive lineman. You can find that shit. You know what I'm saying? They out there. You just you find them. That's true for almost every position. You know what I'm saying? Look at Brock Purdy. Shit. Last motherfucker picked in the draft. Playing the best football out of anybody still playing right now. So, fucking rookie. You know what I'm saying? Last motherfucker picked in the draft last year. He playing better than everybody that's still playing right now. So, yeah. You don't know what the fuck you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. That's why I was saying I don't care about that fucking number 1 pick. Even the number 2 pick. If the Texans got that number 2 pick and somebody was like, hey, we want such and such, such and such and such and such. We willing to give you this, that, and the other for this right here. Man, you better jump on this shit. You know what I'm saying? If you get a chance to get a whole bunch of assets, and the only thing you got to do is drop back in the draft a little bit. Like I said, it's 3 or 4 goddamn quarterbacks out there. You ain't got no offensive. At this point, you don't have no goddamn offensive. You don't have no fucking coaching staff at all. So what? You can get whichever goddamn quarterback, and if it's somebody you like. And I'm pretty sure I don't think there's anybody out there that's just head and shoulders above everybody. Like I said, you fuck around and get you a Ryan Leaf. You get you a fucking Ryan Leaf and be disappointed like a motherfucker. Who the hell else? I don't know who was the top pick, but they say somebody. Who was that? Somebody passed up on Patrick Mahomes. The Bears passed up on Patrick Mahomes. And end up where they pick Trubisky. He not even on the team no more. And Mahomes done won the fucking Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the fuck you gonna get. You just don't. At this point, the way the team is, I'm like, man, you need assets. You could trade away that number 2 pick. I'm pretty sure some people are gonna be inquiring about it, trying to snatch whoever they gonna snatch. Man, you get what you can. You know what I'm saying? You get what you can. Bloom. Somebody want to blow this shit up and for that second pick, let them do it. Drop back a little bit. It's gonna be a quarterback there for you to take if that's what the fuck you want. You get some more drafts and probably a draft pick for the next goddamn year. And a bunch of and you got fucking first round picks, man. You cash in big on that shit. No, we going for no goddamn names. You know what I'm saying? Don't be going for no goddamn names. Yeah, this the name. This motherfucker here won this, and he won that, and he won this, and he won that. Well, how many of them motherfucking it's like the Ohio State quarterbacks. How many of them motherfuckers have did anything? I can only remember 2. I think Geno Smith went to fucking Ohio State. I think so. I don't know. He sounded like he went to Ohio State. I think he went to Ohio State. And Troy Smith. And that was a while ago. All the rest of the motherfucking quarterbacks that come out of there, man, what's that dude, that prior guy? How long did he stay in the fucking league before he was out of there? He was in and out. He wasn't in the league long. You know? Shit, I mean, if you want to just go with quarterbacks, I mean, shit, I would go with fucking the SEC school. You know what I'm saying? Most of them motherfuckers run pro style offenses like Alabama, man. And that's just me being me. I was like, you want to get a quarterback, and if a whole bunch of them was up there, I would probably go to the SEC school, and that's coming from somebody that don't even fucking watch fucking football. Watch college football. That's just like general knowledge. And for me being from Texas, it's just, you want motherfucking, this is the area. You want a motherfucker that been playing football along the Gulf Coast. If it's a bunch of motherfuckers to choose from, yeah, you choose a motherfucker down here in the football country. The Gulf Coast being, from Texas to Florida, for y'all that don't know. That means you got Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Florida. But I include the whole Southeast in that. So that includes like the Carolinas, the Kentuckys, Tennessees, and Georgias and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all that shit is included in there. In the Southeast. I think most of the quarterbacks that came out of that region and did pretty goddamn good for themselves. Once they got into the damn league. That's just my narrow. Man, I know there's other quarterbacks all over the goddamn place, but that's I'm biased because I'm in that region. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that goddamn region. Hell, you look at fucking like Davis Mills. Davis Mills. He came from Stafford, but he from fucking Georgia. You know what I'm saying? He from fucking Georgia. So yeah, you want you a quarterback? Yeah, that might be a bad example, but like I've been saying, he ain't a bad quarterback as far as I can tell. As far as in my opinion, you put any of them motherfuckers in a dookie ass offense that you got motherfucking NFL calling these high school ass option plays and shit, rotating in fucking quarterbacks and shit. You in fucking high school or something? Get the fuck out of here. Fucking Pep Hamilton. This fucking platoon system with fucking Driscoll and fucking Davis is embarrassing. And teams got a whiff of that shit after like the second game they did that shit. Every time Driscoll come in a game, he damn near lose yards. And he didn't stop doing it for the rest of you. Kept on doing it. This shit don't work no more. Stop. Didn't stop doing that shit till like the second half of the last game of the fucking season. A game in which they fucking won. And they wouldn't have won if they'd have kept doing that fucking retarded ass bullshit. He probably would have still had his job if he kept doing that bullshit. Now that I'm thinking about it. If Pep Hamilton would have kept doing that stupid ass quarterback rotation shit through most of that goddamn game, they wouldn't have won. They would have had their little lead. And they would have lost the lead and lost the goddamn game. But they got lucky and won that goddamn game. They really did. They was not supposed to win that goddamn game. That last drive, like I said before, was fucking improbable. If you watch the Texans offense all goddamn year, for them to do what they did on that last drive to win that goddamn game, on the last fucking play of the game at that, it's fucking improbable. The 2 fourth down plays they had was fucking improbable. It's a fucking miracle that they won that goddamn game. And I was like, all that shit must have happened for a fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that happened and they did, and everybody pissed off because they won the game and gave the Bears the fucking number 1 pick. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck? Bears didn't even want a fucking quarterback. They gonna trade their goddamn pick off to somebody who do. If they don't, they stupid. Unless there's another, and they got a bunch of stuff coming before draft time comes. But like I say, the combine come around and some freak of nature, some Javon Kirsch or Julius Peppers motherfucker might pop out of goddamn nowhere, and you gotta take him. You know what I'm saying? It can happen. It can happen. One of them motherfuckers pop up, you be like, and you don't need a quarterback, and it's a motherfucker that you know is not gonna be available. You gotta take him best player. Best player. That's what you gotta do. That's what the Texans gotta do. The only thing is, as far as I don't watch fucking college football, so I don't know. No top receivers. Like I think the receivers I think the Texans need. I think they need a big receiver. I think they need a big receiver. I think they got one in Nico Collins, but he hadn't produced. But then he been under that same shitty ass offense. He been under the same shitty ass offense Davis Mills been in. So, that's to be determined. But if you can't find, you can find another game break on the other side. It don't hurt to have 2 6-foot+ receivers out there. It don't. You get a motherfucker, you find a motherfucker that's tall and fast. Yeah. Like I see these other teams have like a DK Metcalf or somebody like that. Like I watched the Seahawks play. He said, we need a motherfucker like that. You know what I'm saying? Want a big motherfucker that can run. Good receiver. You got to be able to catch too, but still. You know what I'm saying? You're one of them motherfuckers out there that's a mismatch for the receivers. Don't get no receivers the same size as the fucking defensive backs. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody that's just as fast but bigger as the defensive backs. That's your advantage right there. That's what you want to look for. Because everybody out there is fast. So you need to have a goddamn size advantage. Run out there with no 5'10" receiver. Everybody 5'10". Shit. When I was in college, everybody was fucking 5'9", 5'10". That was some weird ass shit. How all of y'all the same goddamn height? There you go, girl. How all of y'all the same height? Yeah, so I'm like, man, fuck that shit. You need that's what you need. You need another running back. You can give Dameon Pierce, have him catch the ball out the fucking backfield, you know what I'm saying? And then have another running back just like fucking Dameon Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Just like Dameon Pierce. So when Dameon Pierce need to be what, girl? Need his little break. When he need his little break, You stick another motherfucker in there that's just as bad. Defense don't get no breaks. You get beat up when motherfuckers run the ball. You know what I'm saying? You get beat up, and the way Damian Pierce runs, you can get like a big back. You get a motherfucker bigger than Damian. Get one of them fucking 6 foot 1, 6'2", 200 and fucking 30-pound plus running backs. They out there. They are. The motherfuckers is out there. Get you a 240, 250-pound running back that can run. Tell you, man, couldn't be no GM. I couldn't be no GM. I would irresponsibly fucking field my team. I would. My team would be so fucking probably imbalanced. It would be so goddamn imbalanced. Maybe having these little tiny ass running backs. Nah, I don't know tiny ass running. I don't want no tiny ass running backs. You know what I'm saying? If I have a tiny ass running back, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Depending on their ability. You know what I'm saying? But I hate when you get them little tiny ass running backs and they get the ball and somebody go and they just go, because they don't weigh nothing but 180, 190 pounds, big 300-pound motherfucker and they just fall the fuck over because, shit, them motherfuckers big and strong, shit. At that point, it don't matter how fucking strong you are. You ain't got no body weight. Motherfuckers can do whatever the fuck they want to you. You know what I'm saying? That was always outliers, though. Some little motherfuckers out there I done seen some of them little motherfuckers run up in there and move the power fucking 6 goddamn yards. Y'all can't tackle that little motherfucker be in there. All the motherfuckers be all on to him. He be like, tackle him, shit. Pick him up, some shit. Motherfucker, you bench like 600 goddamn pounds. You don't pick that little motherfucker up. You can curl that motherfucker. Why can't you tackle him? Nah. You need some of that, though. You need some of that. You might have one of those on the team. Not like what's that little receiver the receivers had? He played for one of the goddamn teams that they just played. Kiki QT. Look, one of those little motherfuckers in the NFL, fucking 5'5". You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how you even get a fucking job? Because he ain't that good a goddamn receiver. You put him back there. They put him back there as a fucking return man. They had him in a receiving game. I think he had like one good receiving game. And I think the Texans ended up letting him go for like the same reasons I was saying that you need another receiver other than fucking Brandon Cooks at that position. You couldn't never hit that motherfucker. He too goddamn, he's sick, he 5'5". And it literally got to the point, I don't remember who the fuck was quarterbacking when he was here. I know it got to the point, QQQT being in the game, I think he had like 1 or 2 good games, you know what I'm saying? Depending on if you scheme for him or not. But all the passes were like going over his head. It was to the point to where every pass that he couldn't catch, a regular 5'11", 6-foot motherfucker would be able to just catch the ball like that and keep going. He couldn't even reach the shit. A bunch of passes was going over his head. I'm not even trying to be funny. That's what the fuck was happening. The quarterbacks get back there and be like, because you got to throw over the fucking lineman at the line of scrimmage and hit your receivers downfield. And you throw it to a receiver who's this goddamn tall. How the fuck you even saw him to start with is amazing. You throw it to him and motherfucker just can't, motherfucker in real life can jump and shit, but still you can't just jump at your maximum height every time. It's just everything was going over his fucking head. And I think the coaches, because it wasn't too long after I realized that shit, you didn't see him in the game much, other than maybe trying to return some kicks or some shit. And then he wasn't even on the team next year. It didn't make no sense. It didn't. It didn't make no sense. And all the passes go over his head. He's 5'5". Can't, you gotta like put him in on like screenplays or maybe a reverse or some shit. But even then, once he get the ball, he ain't going nowhere. The dude weigh about 160 pounds. Dude weigh about 160, maybe 170, I don't know. He light. So as soon as he catch the ball, He out of there.
People think they know this story.
Bernie Madoff has been arrested.
They think it's a story about one man.
I've been doing this shit so long that the episode I done had done paused and timed out, and it went to the other screen where it started showing me previews on the shit that I'm watching. I'm like, goddamn. I didn't think I was gonna be doing this video this long, but anyway, yeah, that's another one of my Texans videos, Talking Texans. Next season will be better than this one though. Like I say, the players that they got coming back, even if they do an overhaul on the offense, you literally can't get worse. I mean, you probably can, but you can't get worse than the offensive coaching that we had this year. You know, you can't get worse than that. You bring in a whole nother system, down in any system, and they talk about they interviewing a whole bunch of different people. A lot of those interviews are just for interview sake, because I think you have to interview people, and it's good. And for certain folks, you have to go on an interview, even if you know you're not for the fucking get the job. You just go on an interview because that's some shit you put on your little football resume or some shit like that. They done interviewed a couple of motherfuckers. I'm like, who the fuck is that? You know, I'm like, for real, I'm like, who the fuck is that? I ain't never heard of that dude in my life. Which is not, uncommon, since I don't follow football like that. Not the way I know all the coaches and defensive coordinators and shit like that. I don't. Shut up, boy. So, you can't get worse than what the Texans were on the offense. You just can't. With the players they got, because it didn't make sense. Like I said, it ain't the players' fault. They got players on the offense. There's that coaching staff. So they get a new coaching staff coming here. A lot of some of the offense is going to be different. I think the receivers might pretty much look the same, except I don't think Cooks is going to be there. So somebody else they probably end up drafting. If they don't draft another rookie to go on the end, they'll pick up somebody in free agency to start right there. If they do, I hope they pick up a decent sized receiver. Don't pick no little, unless he's just like super good, which I highly doubt. But you don't need another motherfucker. I mean, you don't need another 5'10" motherfucker over there. You just don't. No. Stick them in the slot. You got a bunch of those. You had 3 of those on the team. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 motherfuckers that can do the same thing on the fucking team. With Dorsett and Chris Moore and what's his face? Cooks. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, they're interchangeable. That's my narrow football knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You could have stuck anybody in their position. Like I said, one of their best games came with when they starting receivers was out. So we're gonna see how that's gonna go. And then the defense, hopefully the defense don't get, they got talent on defense. Just hope that it don't get blowed up, because I don't know who coming back. Damn, man, I got a bump on my back. You don't know who coming back, so you just hope that there's some consistency there. They get a decent defensive coach in there. A decent offensive coach. Because that shit is important. It don't matter having a fucking team full of stars if you can't put the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying? You can't get the ball up and down the field. It don't matter if you got stars in there. You can look at Tampa Bay for that. Because Tampa Bay got stars on their offense and they couldn't do shit. You got the go-there quarterback. You got 3 or 4 good-ass receivers. And you got 2 good running backs. Now that I'm thinking about it, and you couldn't get the ball up and down the field. I can probably see why Byron Leftwich lost his job. Even if it wasn't his fault, I can probably, you can see where it'd be like, we got you all these fucking tools. You know what I'm saying? You got Mike. You could just say Mike Evans and Julio Jones. God damn it. That's not including the other two good receivers you got, Godwin and Perriman. You got Tom Brady and Rod White, whatever they did. Not Rod White. Rod White is somebody. Whatever that dude, the little rookie running back they had, and fucking Fournette. That fucking, you would think, yeah. You see those players on the field and the offense can't move. I can see where you would blame the offensive coordinator, because the Texans don't have that level of talent, and it was obvious that after watching a couple of games, it was obvious that it was the offensive coordinator's fault that the team wasn't performing like it was supposed to. So that's it for me. I'm gonna catch y'all. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I gotta lay down, try to get a couple of snoozes in, because I don't know what time it is now, but I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip.